get back to what we all came here for. Pants, take it away.
What? Starting off with potato chips?
Chip talk.
Oh, yeah. That's what everyone's been waiting for.
I'm actually super curious what you're going to say about that.
I don't really have that much to say.
I've got a hot take on chips.
Yeah, it's not much of a take at all. I just love chips. And I feel like everybody does. I was actually thinking about this. It's like such a universally loved thing.
I don't love chips.
Well, like them. Like nobody. I don't know anybody that doesn't like chips.
They're good. They're okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you won't refuse them.
What's your favorite?
I won't
chip?
refuse chips.
What's your favorite chip, Grimpen?
My favorite chip.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I guess probably like a Harvest Cheddar Sun chip.
Well, no wonder.
Oh
my
my
god.
Yeah, I've actually come.
Chip?
So yeah, I'll wait till you can explain more about potato chips. But I got a couple things to say about the chip world.
Oh, go for it. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say when I was thinking about, because I was like, well, I'm sure he has a favorite potato chip, which is what? Do you have a favorite one?
Yeah.
Oh, I could tell you Pants' favorite potato chip.
Yeah, you probably can.
Is barbecue or?
Yeah.
It's the boxed barbecue.
Special barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Old Dutch or
Old Dutch,
Yeah.
yeah. Old Dutch at one point rebranded all their chips, and they, for some reason, the only flavor they changed was the barbecue, which was my favorite chip. And
they changed the flavor?
They changed the flavor.
Yeah.
It's like, it was more of like a mesquite kind of flavor, and they changed it to like a straight barbecue sauce kind of flavor.
Yeah.
And so many people complained that they brought it back just in the box form. Old Dutch sells those like boxes that have 2 bags inside of them.
Yeah.
And so you can still get that flavor, but only in the box form. And it's also popular enough that every once in a while I'll go to Safeway and there just won't be any there. Like there'll be any other flavor you want, but all those boxed barbecue are gone.
Is it even called something different as well?
No, it's
on
just
the
like
box?
classic flavor.
Well, yeah. So I was gonna say, you like potato chips. When I was thinking about my own, I think all my favorite chips are not potato. They're like corn. They're like Doritos. I'm a freak for Doritos and corn chips. I got really weirdly addicted to the Harvest Cheddar when I go to Subway because they have very few options, and the Harvest Cheddar you can like put on the sandwich and it just makes it taste so good. Oh yeah, you have
to do that yourself, right?
Yeah, you just direct the sandwich artist to turn around and open a bag of chips.
Open a bag of chips for me, please.
But yeah, they're all I'm a Doritos freak. I do like potato chips, but I'm not for certain things. Yeah, it's weird. Like if I'm going for a dill pickle, I usually go for potato over like a Dutch Crunch or something like that, or whatever. I know Doritos has dill as well, but I think they taste way better with potato
right at all. Yeah, corn and Dorito, dill pickle. It's weird.
I had Lay's has their like limited edition Tastes of the World one, and they have a honey butter one right now, and that's really good.
Yeah,
weird.
that one's amazing.
Yeah.
I might have to try that. In Japan, they had just straight buttered flavor chips, and those were terrible. I hated them.
The honey butter is so good. Yeah, I had that at my friend's birthday last year, and I still think about them. Yeah,
the hell, honey butter.
Honey butter, one of the best condiments out there.
I didn't. What? It's its own thing.
It's its own thing, but I think people usually only put it on like a biscuit.
I've never heard.
Yeah,
of
I was going to ask:
all.
is it for sweets or something, or like?
I don't actually know. Condiments are for everything.
Okay.
You probably dip your fried chicken in it if it's Korean.
Explain it to me. What is honey butter?
Honey butter chips literally just taste like butter and honey in chip form.
But you're saying honey butter is its own thing.
Yeah, honey butter is just a mixture of honey and butter.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
weird.
so you would think it's a spread, I guess.
It's
like
a
condiment of some kind.
Yeah,
but you can buy honey butter in a container.
For sure. Yeah, you would also put it on like popcorn. It'd be real good on popcorn. I bet.
This is a fact, though, or are you guys just saying yes?
Absolutely.
I've never heard of this before.
Lay's did not invent honey butter.
You can put it.
I always just thought it was like a word,
everything,
like all dress is not a thing you can go buy, but it's like a flavor, you know?
That's true. All dress doesn't exist in anything other than chips.
Yeah.
But no, honey butter, I'm pretty sure is a real thing. You get it at like, if you go to like a nice pizza place, they'll usually have a honey butter dip you can get. Or
wow, what a strange combination.
I mean, you can get it at like farmers markets a lot too. They're really like popular as like spreads and stuff you buy and homemade things like that. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
This is actually a great topic because I used to work at Lay's for like several years.
Oh my god!
Wow.
And I had like all of the. So I started out in the warehouse, worked my way up till I was basically kind of like running the warehouse, and at one point they flew me to I think it was Lethbridge, where they have their manufacturing plant, and I got to go in and kind of like explore and see how they were made. And I got two like really like weird stories. One of them was they have so in order to figure out the perfect amount of dressing or sauce to put on a chip and the size and the shape and everything of a Dorito specifically, they have these it's crazy. They have these giant mechanical mouths. And they chomp, and then they can see, like, and they feed it a really large chip.
Oh, I want this job. I want to feed the robot chips,
and so that they can see how long the sauce.
Too much flavor
on the teeth, and so when you eat a Dorito, they have to make it so that it lasts long enough that your mouth is always coated, but not too long that you lose sensation in of tasting that flavor. And finding that sweet spot there's a whole science behind it. And that's why like Doritos pretty much will always taste good until like you get to the very end of the bag, and then you're sort of like you're not even tasting them anymore. It's just your whole mouth is just
salt
covered in cheese and salt powder. And
so did you have an opportunity then? Could you have like turned the crank a few notches to the right and permanently made everything from Lay's a little more flavorful?
Yeah. No, well, it's funny. So when I was there, I had like I had piercings and stuff, like an eyebrow piercing and stuff, and so they wouldn't let me into certain rooms because it was unhygienic.
Piercing,
please. So I had, because you have to wear like a hair bonnet. I also had a beard, so I had to wear like a beard bonnet, which is super
I love a beard bonnet.
It wasn't even a mask; it was like a beard bonnet, which is super weird.
But it doesn't cover all your beard hair, in my experience with beard bonnets. Yeah.
And then I had to put a piece of tape over I had an eyebrow piercing, so I had to put a piece of tape over that. Anyway, so I'm walking around with like all these like things on my face, and they wouldn't let me into certain rooms and stuff. But at the time, there was a when I was there, they had like a recall on corn chips and just those ones that are like kind of like the Frito style ones, whatever. Like, And the reason was that one of their silos, and I got to go in and like we walked into it. They were holding up the corn kernels, and they would just like put delicate pressure on one, and it would just turn to dust. And they realized that all of the corn kernels were empty, and they couldn't figure out why. And it turns out that there was a bug infestation, and the bugs were eating, like burrowing inside the corn kernels, eating all the corn kernel and then leaving, and sometimes laying babies and eggs and stuff inside them. So they had to do a recall on all of these. I can't remember which one, but it's all these
bug-infested corn chips.
Because people were opening the bag and it was just dust. Like there was nothing holding them together because it was. Yeah. It was actually a fun job. I enjoyed it. It was my first job out of high school. It was like a fun place to work. We used to. Well, I got tasked to work in inventory, and so I would say, yeah, I'll do this on Saturdays when no one's here, because it's easier. But it was actually because I would let all my friends show up, and we would just load their car with like crates of chips, and then go have like a party or something like that with the.
And you're doing the inventory, so missing a few carloads of chips doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, I would just you just change it over there. But
that's crazy.
We one party we got. Do you remember the 3D Doritos?
Yeah.
So they had a special one for Halloween that had little green bits of dye in it, and it would turn your tongue green. And so I was like, oh, nobody was buying them because nobody liked 3D Doritos. And so I just loaded up the car with all these extras, took it to a party, and everybody was eating them, right? Because it was the only snack available. And it turns out that they give people, in like large quantities like that, it gives people diarrhea. And
the greenest diarrhea you can imagine.
And so there was a lineup at this house, my buddy's house, and it was just like a lineup at this party of 10, 15 people waiting to use the washroom because they were all just like,
sick from your poison chips.
I've always found it weird that like when companies have a lot of offerings, that 3D is always one of the things where like it doesn't, like there's toothpaste called 3D. Like why is 3D even a thing? Like they're all 3D like for chips. Like it's so weird. that has nothing to do with flavor. Like, you were saying, I've always thought I've always had a theory about flavor amounts on things like crackers or whatever, because I've always assumed that they put just enough to like make you enjoy it, but tease you a little, like just a little under the amount that makes you want to have another one. Because it's always like that when you're eating a chip, like you want that flavor again. But if they gave you, sometimes you'll get a random chip that has like, it's just like coated in tons of it, and it's like a mistake chip. But if every chip was like that, you would probably get sick of them. But it's the point, it's like the fact that some of them are always like, they're just under, just by a bit, that makes you like keep having like another one.
Not a mistake at all. On purpose.
It's one of the things I love about Doritos is there's a good side to every chip to put on your tongue.
Oh yeah.
There's so much variety and flavor amount, it feels like.
Do you guys do that? So yeah, I always, when I'm eating a cracker or a chip or whatever, there is almost a science to how I eat them. Like I need to have the flavor part on my tongue. So sometimes I'll actually flip it over specifically to do that. And I don't just like eat them willy-nilly.
I look at every chip before I eat every chip.
That's right. I used to make fun of you for that all the time. Yeah.
I still do it. I eat a lot less chips as a result of it. But
it scarred you.
You gotta put it into the optimal position. You might cut your mouth if you don't. Or who knows?
I just shove them in my mouth.
Yeah, I remember you, Pants, eating barbecue chips when we were roommates back in the day.
Yeah,
and
I would go to a 7-Eleven a lot. Or the Max. Oh yeah.
Old Dutch I don't usually get them, but there is something weird about childhood, because I feel like whenever I went to a birthday party, parents always had the Old Dutch in boxes, and they bought them that way. My parents always got like just the bags we'd have bags of Doritos, we'd open them up, pour them in a bowl or whatever. But I always relate Old Dutch to going to like someone else's birthday party or something, and they seem to taste better. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're the best brand. They're my favorite.
But don't you think though that, at least when I was growing up, I felt that Old Dutch was like the poor brand, and Doritos was like the.
Pants just starts crying. He's like, "Oh no!"
It always felt like childhood. It always felt like.
I think Lay's is the poor.
Yeah,
brand.
I always felt that. Yeah.
Lay's is like the Walmart of chips.
Yeah, they're so thin. It's just like you're not. Yeah.
From just like a brand perspective, do you feel like, because Old Dutch doesn't even have commercials, do they?
No,
maybe they don't need them because they're so premium.
They're the Costco of chips.
Like Lay's had Mark Messier for so long.
Yeah,
that's true. Oh my god,
but you can't just eat one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still their thing?
I think so. I don't know. And then Pringles
I was
has
gonna
one
ask.
chip off you can't stop.
Yeah, and there's Pringles.
Pringles is also another chip that is tremendously important, the direction you put it into your mouth.
Yeah. And what is it? What is a Pringle? Is it potato?
That's the Pringles are the grossest chip in that way. They're just made from all the runoff and turned into like a slurry of potato.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Discs.
They're not like sliced potatoes. They're just like mashed potatoes turned into a chip.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
They are good though.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. I'd probably take. I hate to say it now that we know you're past. I'd take a Pringle over a Lay every day.
Oh, there's a good slogan. I want to. I don't know why I don't do this, but like when I was a kid, I always wanted to buy a thing of Pringles just to like eat like a whole stack in one bite. But now as an adult, I just look at that as wasteful because I know like so many crumbs will just not go in my mouth.
How many Doritos? Or I keep wanting to call them Doritos. How many Pringles could you even get into your mouth?
Good
in
question.
One stack?
In one bite, I think you could do like a. Well, I'm kind of imagining like going through and like you would probably not. You would probably miss most of it.
Duck bill out a little bit. Yeah.
But probably like over a quarter of a can.
Wow. Next time you have us on, everyone's got to bring a can of Pringles.
There were these. My only story that came to mind when I saw your topic, and it really isn't potato chips at all, but they sold, and they probably still do, but they're bags of like French fries kind of thing. Do they still make those? They were like French fries shaped, and they were potato.
Veggie straws?
Or
No, they were not veggie straws. They were like
like hickory sticks.
Not hickory sticks. They were almost like freeze dried. They were kind of like the vegetable ones, but they looked like McDonald's fries, but like in the same shape and size as well. I don't know if they were limited time only, but there was an all dress flavor, and I was so addicted to them. And I think they don't exist for this reason: is they did over season them, and they did give you the over amount that you shouldn't have. And I was eating them so much that my tongue started to bleed.
Oh my god!
And I remember like going this, and my tongue was bleeding from like how much like stimulant from flavor it had. But oh man, they were so good.